Hi everyone, my name is Electric Donkey and welcome to another GameMaker tutorial. So, today we are back doing our tutorial for beginners or refreshing memory. So, today what we're going to be explaining is the use of scripts, which is this little folder here. And I did show you briefly, you press this and you make a script, but I'm going to go into them a tad bit more detail. I'm not going to go really in depth, but I'm going to say some of the different things you can use in scripts which you can't use in objects. So if you remember, we did our code here. There'll be different bits of code that you can use for just scripts. Oops. And also, if you remember, we had our room. So let's just run it, refresh your memory, and stuff. May also get on to doing views as well. Depends on how much time we have left. But views are basically a view in the room, so you can only view a certain amount of the room, which is this bit here. And it's quite handy if you want like a side-scrolling type game, or any sort of scrolling game really. Most games will use views, and if you remember, we could move around. It's a tad bit glitchy, but yeah, it works. So let's go ahead and make a script. If you remember, it was this little page with a little arrow. Well, not an arrow, it's kind of a triangle, a green triangle, and you get kind of presented with something that looks a little bit like this. And first here you want to put a name in. So if you remember our prefixes, script, well, it shortens down to SCR, scr, whatever way you want to say it, and let's just call it script. Yeah, pretty simple. First thing you're really gonna probably want to do is put 3 slashes. So I don't think I explained this before, but 3 slashes is like a title. So if we go out of this, back to our object, and into our code bit, if we now put 3 slashes up here, 2 slashes just a normal comment, and 3 slashes, which you normally do at the top, only ever really, and you can put title. And then if we go out, you see here it says title. But in a script, they're slightly different. So it's what it takes in, so what the script takes in. So generally you put 3 slashes and then you put the name of the script. So in this case it's script, and then you put open brackets. And this is just going to make it so that whenever you go to write something out that uses this script, it will tell you what you need to put in to get something out. So that's what all the script is. It's just a block of code that runs to do something. And what it generally does is take in a value. So for this we're going to make it a number generator, so let's call it maximum value. So it doesn't need to be anything fancy, just what you will remember it as. So in this case, maximum value works fine. So in here, what we're going to want to do is do a var. The var, I don't know if I've said it before, it's a variable. I don't know if I explained variables, so I'll explain them now. What they are is the thing that stores a number or a string, which is kind of a letters and stuff like that. But a var creates a private variable-ish that when this code's run and when everything's done, it can only be used once and then it gets destroyed. So it's quite handy if you're using scripts, because you might use that same variable lots of times and it gets muddled up between them, whereas if you put var, it just destroys it after it's used it. So we're going to put it var mv, which is going to stand for maximum value, equals, and then to get this number that we've put in here, we need to do argument 0. You can also go argument 0 like that, but that is slightly different. Don't really need it that much. So what this will now mean is that whenever we put mv, it will get this number that we've entered here when we call the code, when we call the script. So now we're going to use a different function. You can use this in normal scripts in the object, and it's just iRandom. And what this is it chooses a random number within the range it's given. So in this case we can do MV, because that's our maximum number. Also we're going to want to do something with this number, because at the minute this will just make a random number within that number that you've given it, and nothing will really happen to it. So we need to use a return function, and this is only in a script. And what this does is when you call the script, you put a value in, and then on most scripts you'll get a value back out, which will then do something. So in this case it'll just return our random number within the range that we've given. So now that script's all nice and done, we can go back into our object player, our step, and just down here what we can do is we can do var number equals, and then we can call the script, and this is how we call it. We just go, you see here it says maximum value. We can either click on it or just press enter, and then it brings it up. It tells us down here we need to add a maximum value. So let's just put 10, just like that. And what this will do is make us a random number in 10. Then down here we can use another function which is called show debug message. And what this asks for is it's a string, and a number isn't a string because it's a number, it's an integer actually. So you need to use another function called string, and it turns a number into a string, and we can put the number. So what this will do is it will just print the show debug message, prints it down here so that we can see what number it is and what number it's used. Oops. So now if we go and give this a go, every single step, which is, I think it's 30 in a second on this, it will make a new random number and it will print it down here for us to see. It's just an example of what you can do with scripts. So now whenever we want to make a random number, we can just use that script. And there you go, you can see it's working. It's a bit fast, but you can see it is making a random number within the range of 10. It's never going over 10. You can look, there's never any 20s or 100s. It's only ever within the range of 10. And we can still move around and do everything. So that is how you can use scripts. So, if you enjoyed this tutorial, or if you're enjoying the series, not many left on for them yet, I'm trying to keep it bare minimum, just a basics tutorial, then remember to like, subscribe, or just do whatever you guys do. And I will talk to you later.